less stable. You wanted to run up the harder stuff. It had less of a tendency to fall away. I looked over towards Fez. He was slowing down. I clawed myself forwards with my free hand and tried to push myself up onto my toe tips. A light touch and high knees, that's what was needed. It wouldn't look pretty, but it would get the job done. I got myself into a rhythm. High knees, touch and up. I was passing Thomas. He looked red in the face, exhausted already. Aid was within reaching distance. I checked his position. He was about 10 feet from the top, but almost at a standstill. Touch and up. My left foot hit a gully and slid away. I managed to stay upright, but the heels of my Wellingtons wanted to dig backwards. I had to push forwards. Bozo was nowhere. He was out of it. Aid and Thomas were flagging. It was just me and Fez. I could hear him breathing, heavy, laboured. He was finished. He'd have to crawl the last bit. My legs felt strong. I had him. Push, jump, and past Fez I went. The summit was mine. I let out a cheer and straightened up, arms aloft. "Bad luck, Fez," I said, watching him crawl over the top edge. He flopped down on his back, his chest heaving. "Well done, man," he panted. "I got stuck at the top bit, couldn't get a grip." "You got sticks of dino up your arse, Ant," said Aid, heaving himself onto the flat. "You went by like a rocket." "Bloody plimsoll came off, didn't it?" yelled Thomas, holding the offending item aloft. He slumped down onto the ground and pulled it back on. "Where's Bozo?" he said, lifting his head. "Coming," I answered. "He's on his belly, mind, about to come over." A cry went up. "Gives a hand!" I went to the edge, crouched down onto my haunches, and grabbing Bozo's hand, pulled him onto the top. "Ah, fuck, wilt," he said, breathing heavily. "That's harder than it looks." The 5 of us sat, catching our breath. It wasn't much of a vantage point, but just enough to look down over the village, the uniform rows of pitmen's houses, smoke gently rising from the chimneys. I imagined it had always looked this way from the day it was first built, a village for miners, functional, no fuss, at one with the mountain. "Well," said Thomas, standing, "let's get at it." I placed my tea tray on the lip of the spoil tip and straddled it. The heels of my wellies dug down into the clinkers. Bozo went to place his down next to me, but in his exhaustion he fumbled it and his tray skittered away. "No!" he cried, grasping for a corner, but it was too late. We watched as it slid and bounced its way inevitably back to the bottom. "Oh, for fuck's sake," said Bozo, hands on hips. "That's a bad business, like." "You massive tit, Bozo," said Thomas, laughing. "Chucking your tray down, is it? It's not a throwing contest." "Cardiff and Evans," snapped Bozo, his one eye darkening. "Bloody accident, innit?" "Climb on behind me," I said, sitting down and shifting my weight forward to the front of the tray. "Mine's a bit bigger. You'll fit on. We'll go quicker and all." "Hang on," yelled Thomas. "Onesies, innit? We never said twosies." "Yeah, but his tray's down by there, innit?" I replied. "And he's proper knacked," added Aid. "He needs a lift, like." "S'pose," said Thomas. "But you have to do feet down, like, make it fair." "All right," I replied with a nod. I felt Bozo's arms come about me, his fingers interlocking just below my ribcage. "Everybody ready?" I cast a glance to my left and right. Aid, Thomas and Fez were astride their chariots, each holding up the top end of their tea tray to stop it slipping away. "Ready!" they all yelled. "Kick off then!" I cried, and with that I lifted my heels onto the top rim of the tea tray, and we were off, sliding down the spoil tip, clinkers scattering, bumping and jolting. To our left, Thomas let out a whoop, followed by Aid, their excited yelps filling the air. To our right, Fez, screaming, hit a ridge and literally flew through the air like a man on a magic carpet, his hair whipping backwards and his cheeks flushed pink. Everything else around us was a blur, the distant mountains a smudge of green zipping past as we skeltered downwards. Bozo was yelling something in my ear, but I couldn't hear him, the noise of the slag beneath us scraping and grumbling. I tried to look sideways to see if we were in the lead, but the bottom was coming up fast, faster than I would have liked. "Hold on!" I yelled, grabbing the sides of the tea tray. Wind whipping at our faces, we span off the spoil and skidded onto patchy scrub, and as we hit, the tea tray tipped sideways and sent us spilling. "Oh, cut my leg," said Fez.